Get the old cogs pressed off. The old 7-inch drivers are out, and the new 5.5-inch drivers are in. See, got rid of the 4 cogs, and we just go with 2. This drives on the windows of the track, and these drive on the sides, just like this did. And yeah, quite a bit shorter, as they should be. So it's pretty sweet. So let's put that in there, and we'll see if we got some extra room to put that track in there, and we can mount up that suspension. Alright, get the suspension and track in there finally. The drivers do clear, barely. That's looking pretty sweet. The problem I'm having, of course, is with this longer shock up front here. These arms have to be dropped. These mounting arms have to be dropped way down, because where they are now, the track is stuck at the top. So I have to drop this arm down so this can have some wiggle room up here. I mean, this is just free height anyways, so I mean, it'll squat and tuck the track up in there, so it won't be drooping down so far. It'll be pushed up in there. And that's just free height. That's like maximum. So anyhow, it's about right here right now, and I'm going to drop it down to about right here. So that's a good distance there. And the attack angle, ideally you want it as shallow as possible so to drive up on the snow and not trench, and also not put extra wear here on your tips. And you want this back away from your cogs, so this don't drive in your cogs and get caught up when it's coming around. But yeah, actually the steeper the attack angle, it'll trench, which makes it wheelie in deep snow. So I mean, that's not something I mind happening. That'd be great. That's what I wanted to do actually, is trench and stand up instead of just driving on top of the snow or plowing through it. So that'd be kind of cool, but I can't have too much and put too much wear on here, so the track's not touching there. I mean, I know this is loose and everything, but so I think I'm gonna try to move it down, move this down, and bolt it in there and get the track freed up from the top of the tunnel so it's not stuck. And there's the 6 drivers in there. Not a lot of room in there still. Should have went with the 1 3/4 track or something like that, but always go full set. Nice 2-inch track, lots of grip. So yeah, we'll struggle through it and make it work. Because I mean, the rest of this wasn't exactly a cakewalk. So what's fitting the track gonna hurt? We'll just make some extra work as usual. So yeah, let's see if we can move that down and put a hole in it, and see if we can get the front situated. Trying to push it back as far as possible too, get it away from the drivers, and pulling it back, even if it's far down, will help on that attack angle and grade it out instead of making it so steep like the snow piles into a wall. You want it to have some slant to it for the many reasons, but steep is good, just not too steep. So let's move that down and get it back some. That'll be dropped down to the body over that, but let's work at this first point. Well, there it is. The track's all mounted. It's all bolted in. Looking pretty sweet. Now, problem is it's tilted forward too much. We got a bunch of track pressure right here, and the track's off the ground in the back, so it's tilted up. So there's some solutions. There's taking this mounting bolt and moving it up, which we can't do because the track will rub on the tunnel, so that's out. We can take this bolt here, we can drop this down, pushing the back of the track down, getting it to make contact. See how that's not touching. it starts touching there. So you gotta push the back down, or we can take these skis and lift them even higher and get the track leveled out. And I've picked it up with the jack, and it's about 2 inches or so before it levels out. We'll get that jacked up here. There. So get about 2 inches there, but now the track is sitting totally flat. It's flat all the way across. So there's that, and picked up like that. But I don't want to lift those skis anymore, so not gonna do that. Can't push that up, so the solution is to drop this down. That's gonna give it more of a rake, because obviously you're pushing the back down instead of picking the front up. And I'm not really sure how that's gonna go here, because it's already in there. I'm just gonna get, but does that math work out where pick it up 2 inches in the front or pick it up 2 inches in the rear? Because that would work out from here down to here, drop it 2 inches. I'd put the wheel down here, and in this suspension and a lot of the Arctics and stuff, it does hang down. The newer Arctic chassis with the Yamaha motors have the, and newer stuff have the block hanging down with the wheel in it and the transfer and stuff. So I mean, it's not, I mean, the old style always had it in here. There was nothing hanging down. But so I think we're gonna put a piece in here, droop it down, and then we'll recheck the track angle and make sure it's touching, and we'll go from there. But also, the other issue is the adjuster. It's almost maxed out, and this track is new, so it's going to stretch. So this is going to run out of adjustment, I do believe. I know they can stretch quite a bit, so, and I don't think I want to run it all the way back there just for a strength issue. I'd like to have it here in the meat here instead of just in this little tip that can break off. If I had it back in here, it'd be nice. So not only do I want to drop it down in the mounts here, I also want to move it back, because that'll move all this back in the sled and give me more tension, so I can run that tensioner back and everything. I mean, that was one of my original whole ideas, was right there, but it just really goes in there hard. But that's just because the track was just getting put together, and it was all bunched up from being in the box and stuff, so maybe it'll slide back better. I don't know how far that is. I don't know, 2 inches or so. So maybe slide this back 2 inches. I don't know if I can get it in that hole, but ideally that would be sweet. And then move this one back and down, and then I could move this back up in here more in the sweet spot and have some adjustment for when this track stretches out. And because this is no good, so the whole skid does have to move back. But as you can see, there is some adjustment, because I mean, this skid originally was a 141 track, and I moved it forward in this exact chassis and ran a 139, and now I'm moving it backwards and running a 144. So you do have some adjustment with track lengths. I mean, these skids are just whatever, it's just wherever it's based in the chassis. I mean, there's limitations. You can't run a 121 skid on a, you know, a 154 track. But I mean, I want a difference of 5 inches, 139, 144, 141. I mean, and I mean, it's way up in there in the front, so I mean, it can go back quite a ways. Oh, and also, I was looking at putting another wheel up in here instead of just the ends. I don't think I'm going to use this one. This just has a block in here. I think I'm going to see if I can take this. What's originally in there was this here, this pedestal mount, and this wheel. So I put on the front of that one. But then I found these ones. These wheels right here. And that's just a bolt in there. So I think if I unbolt that and put this on there, that'd be pretty sweet. That would help guide track in there and put not so much pressure on these tips on this one here. Because I mean, it is a pretty steep angle there. It's going to get less steep when I slide it back. So I mean, that'll help reduce the attack angle there. But having those big wheels, not just the little wheels, but the anti-stab kits have little wheels. And I think those bigger wheels will help too. So yeah, so we'll see if we can move that back, that down, and get it sitting right, so we can get them skis sitting on the ground. Hopefully it's not tilted too much, but that tip's extension's turned down anyway, so maybe we won't have to modify that. Just leave that the way it is, put it down because it's going to be tilted. So yeah, let's modify that and see what that looks like. Get the final fitment of the track. It's much better. I got it moved back that hole about 2 inches to move it back so I can lower that attack angle and not make so much pressure here. And it wasn't that hole there, and then it made it, I mean, it has to go back obviously because the front did, and then dropped it down. And yeah, we got good pressure there all across. That's all good. I added in this extra set of wheels and just used this block from the 121 from the VMAX and these wheels. So I get an extra set of wheels there because it kind of had a space of nothing. So now let's get an extra set of coasters in there. And then at the front, I got 4 wheels in here. 4 big wheels. So this is just a regular centerpiece, just kind of like this one is. Or well, this one don't have one. Yeah, anyways, it's just a center set of wheels here. And then it just happened to fit perfectly with this outside here. Put a spacer in here. And yeah, so I just through bolt this into them center set of wheels. And I got this adapter on the outside. So yeah, I got 4 giant anti-stab wheels. So that'll keep the front of this rail from poking into this track. So that'll be awesome. Nice big wheels for less rolling resistance. So I got the 4 wheels in the front now. Got that mounted. Wheels there, extra set of wheels, big wheels on the back. And these wheels are on the outside here, and then all the remainder wheels are on the inside, so it should be able to side hill good and flex. And there's that there. Gusset that up after, but that's in there. It's not too low. Don't look ridiculous or anything. Did moving it back and dropping down fix my track distribution problem? It would seem like it did, but it didn't. I had to lower the front too, so I did drop it down 2 inches. I moved it back to 2 inches, and that fixed my tension problem. Look at that. That's much better. It was way back here in the no-go zone, and that was with an unstretched new track. And then when it stretched out, I'd be out of adjustment. Now it's back here in the beef where it's stronger. It's not back here where it could break the tip off. So yeah, so it's got some room for adjustment now, so that's perfect. So moved it back worked, moved it down worked. It's all level, riding good. But it did need to go up in the front still. It had to go down and up to even this out. But it was just a matter of putting a piece of 2-inch square tubing in there, gussing it up and welding it to this bottom plate. I left that, so I got 3 inches on this top stem, and I got 2 inches on this bottom stem. So we get the front end lifted 5 inches. That's crazy. I mean, it doesn't look ridiculous. I mean, I wish it didn't have to lift it so much, but it'll work out good for clearance, and Looks better, and also I narrow the skis too. They used to be, this top plate used to be going the other way and set the ski out, but it made them kind of like bow, and when there was weight on them and turn kind of funky. So now this ski is directly under the steering stem. It's lined up better instead of being out here and flexing. So this will make it steer better, and I mean, I don't care if it's narrow, it's gonna be tippy anyway. That extra, you know, 1.5 inches or so, the 3-inch width overall is not worth it. I don't mind it being tippy, I don't care. I just want it to handle better, so yeah, there's that. Got monster clearance there. So yeah, the track's finally in its final spot. Skis are done, sitting level, track's tight, extra wheels, looking good. Now, this here is tilted down and it looks stupid, so I'm going to tilt that up, and that'll be the next thing I'm on to. You can see how that's pointed down in the back. Now that we got it slanted out, it's not slanted out too bad with the ski lift in the front, and that only being lowered a little bit. It's raked, but I mean, it's not crazy where you're going to slide in the gas tank and still be comfortable. And then once you get some weight on it, it'll flatten down. That should be nice. So yeah, so what we got to do here is take that droop angle and make it even with the tunnel, so it just runs all the way out. And that'll fix this mud flap problem too. That should make it go off at an angle more and up higher, so that'll fix it. So yeah, we'll cut this on the bottom side, bend it up, weld it, and then put a new plate on top. So let's get at that. There, we got the tunnel extension done. It's looking good. Matches the angle now, so it's not tilted down, it's level with the tunnel. It's looking sweet. That did fix our mud flap problem. And I decided to make it more rugged because this was just kind of flimsy and wasn't very tough. So I put 3/8 round rod here as a support, and that'll tie that in. And this is 1/8 inch plate. Pretty heavy duty. I mean, you don't want to make things heavy. But yeah, this is 1/8 inch plate to reinforce that, to make this tail section stronger. So that's good. And then this top piece is just thin 20 gauge. So there it is from the back side. So that's good. So this top's nice and light. I'll just rivet on there. And yeah, there it is. So there's that done and out of the way. That looks much better. Oh yeah. Probably tired of hearing about drive shafts and tracks and all that stuff, so we're moving on to something else. I did a bunch of stuff. We'll just breeze over it here. I got the fan finally installed, or the radiator here bolted in. Got a rubber mount down there that sits in, and a mount there. It doesn't matter if this comes off, because I'm going to use this one here. It's higher, so I need that anyways. I mean, I got this shield on, and it hinges, so that's pretty sweet. It goes down, mounts down there, and this little arm comes off here, and that's the other radiator mount. I got this footwell finished. Goes up in there, mounts on there, pins in there, and that finishes that out pretty sweet. You should be able to slide a boot in there. It's even angled, so that's pretty cool. Ended up looking pretty good. Got the spark plug boots on here. This was on there just for something else. Anyways, so there you get spark plug holders. This is where that other stuff was. Move the belt in so the hood would close. So that was a pile of work, but it turned out awesome. Building this was a real stinker. Trying to get that all in there in the room, not to hit this fan back here. She's pretty tight. But yeah, that should give it nice suction. And when you close the hood here, it's got a little, it's all closed in. But I'm going to leave this open. I think I might put a little mesh on there, maybe not. But yeah, so there'll be lots of air coming out. So that'll be cool. And then that oil tank did not fit, and there was nothing going to fit in there. So I bought this little Amazon tank. It's a 2.5 liter. I mean, it's measured out, so that's sweet. It's 2.5 liters. It's got a nice little cover with a vent in it. I got it taped up so junk fits in it. Let's get the little nipple sticking out there. That'll drop right into my pump here. That'll be awesome. And yeah. Oh, I got this this trimmed out here, stuck way out here. Got a bunch of pieces hanging off here because obviously it's wider, so I trim that down. Make a mount here, push that in there. I trim this one way back because this takes up most of the room. But it actually looks good. I don't mind that. Looks pretty sweet. And I got a new toy that I've been using just for this purpose. I got a plastic welder kit. It's got these, this here's for spreading, and then you can get these little filler rods you can fill. And then it also puts little staples in. And I used that because I wanted the gauge cluster out of there. I mean, I was going to put the gauges in anyways, but I was like, oh, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Boom. These are little clips that plastic welder puts in. These little clips right here. So I got the dash all cut and put in there. And it should be fitting pretty sweet. And I just gotta fill that panel in there. Fill that in there. And this needs to come up anyways to clear that tank. So this little step up here worked perfect. Had to cut all that out. Remove the headlight because this spark plug right here was hitting on the back of the headlight. So I decided that I'm just going to take 2 little lights, one on each side, so that way that it won't hit this. One little light on each side, mesh that in, you'll just see 2 little eyes coming out. That'll look kind of cool. But more importantly, it has to clear this. What an LED headlight that's thinner, clear, maybe, but one on each side. The sockets will be going this way and avoid that. So that'll fix that. And I got this notched out for the radiator. I'm going to fill that back in. Had to notch this out because the pipes bubbled out. So yeah, we'll use this plastic welder here and fix this front end in. But yeah, that plastic welder's turned out great. You can see I got it used right there, all welded in. After it's pinned, these are the little pins here that hold it together, and then you plastic weld in between, cut them off, and then plastic weld in between them, and should be just as solid. And then sand it and make it nice. But yeah, it'll take some work to fill in all the gaps, but I think that looks sweet. Let's put some gauges in there and see what that'll look like, just real quick. There, the gauges in there. Woo-wee, that looks sweet. I got a water temp gauge that I'm going to put either here or here. It's got a water temp light, but I would like to have a gauge just to know where it's got the radiator instead of the coolers. I mean, it's kind of experimental thing, so I want to keep an eye on it, make sure it's good. But yeah, that looks pretty awesome. Like I said, take a lot of filling and all that stuff, but yeah, I think that was a pretty good choice. Nice and easy to see. So yeah, lots more to do. The The main thing I got to do in the coming video is tackle this side. I already started. I made the bottom piece, but got to put a hinge on the bottom of this so that it flips down like that, so that you can access this. So that'll be the next big job. But the other side turned out good, so I'm optimistic about this. So that's it for now. Sorry if the videos aren't terribly exciting. It's kind of a slow build process, a lot of stuff to do that it doesn't seem like it'd be much, but it takes forever. So hang in there, she's coming. It's coming along. We're going to get her done. We're going to get that fire up. But we'll just keep pounding away every day and making videos and follow along, and we'll get her done together. Thanks for watching.